Joining us tonight, we have our good friend and also grad, Amr, who is doing a live build tonight with Claude and with Lovable. How to build an AI LinkedIn post generator with Claude and Lovable. We actually have, give me a second here. We actually have a few more webinars that are going to be coming about. We'll be sending out the newsletter to everybody momentarily. But with that said, give me a second here. Or a product manager job and you are not building in public, you're digging yourself in a whole world of hurt because that's exactly what companies want to see. They want to see you out front, right and center. Okay. But with that said, also, I'm going to pop in the link here if you guys want to schedule a call for our to inquire about our product management next AI product management cohort. Schedule that call if you guys want to go and chat. I'm going to go ahead and let my man Almer here just take it away.
Cool. So I'm gonna do a quick showing of what already I've built, and then we're gonna rebuild it from there. Rich, you're recording already, right, Rich?
Copy, yeah, we're recording.
Sorry, I meant to press share, not record. Okay. So, if you're on the job search right now, one of the highest value items that you can do is be able to have quality LinkedIn posts that potentially attract recruiters in, right? Um, Now, between applying to jobs, following up on, potential interviews, interviewing, getting your skills up, it's just a lot. And so I wanted to think of a way where I could still create high quality content that's not fully AI slop, like it's just generating something out. And so what I did is basically made this LinkedIn studio for myself. I can take my ideas, write them down here, and then what it will do is craft out a different version or different versions of these from that idea that I have to be able to create a draft version of it. That draft, then I'm just going to take this one. Claude's working on the back end right now to be able to generate out a first version of our post or a blueprint of a post. I have different hooks that I can use here. If you see this, it'll pull this hook in. It'll tell me like, hey, this is too short or whatever. I can go in and I can still edit this if I wanted to change it. There's a slight LLM here on the side where if I don't think this hook is good enough or whatnot, I can talk to it and refine this out. But this is the area where I'm like kind of the final editor. Now, whenever I'm ready for this, I can press approve in queue and this will be ready for here for me to copy and paste wherever I want to. If I wanted to take this one, for example, I would take it, post it to LinkedIn, and it's ready to go, right? And it's really that simple. And so once it's done, once I've posted, I can move it or schedule. There's just a whole workflow built out here. Some of the other things is if I see one of my posts is doing well, I can plug it back into here and it can learn from there. And then it can go back into the beginning and it's gonna say, I don't remember exactly where it is, but it is saying that, hey, um, every ingested post becomes reusable memory. The draft generation now looks for related patterns, borrows what worked, avoids what failed, and shows you what made those choices, right? And so this is what I've kind of built over time. This one is built on Codex. And Codex, so it's locally hosted on my computer. There's a local repo that I can continue to work through with this and whatnot. However, I'm going to show you what you could do that's very similar, starting literally from zero, using Claude because I just prefer Claude, and then going from there. So you would just start to prompt it up and saying, "Hey, I am trying. Hold on. Hold on. Make sure that it doesn't have other memory. Keep everything related to this chat here. Um, do not pull from my memory. I am trying to build a LinkedIn post generator. I will be using Lovable in order to build it. I want to, so what I'm doing is I'm basically telling it I'm using Lovable to build it. And then all the other features that I want in this, I give it an idea spec and we talk back and forth and then we're going to build it from there. So I want to plug in ideas and then have you create a draft of what they could look like and finally have a place where I can store them to post later. And quite honestly, that's pretty good to start with. If you're worried about credits, you can use something like Gemini. Rich loves to do that, and I like to type. Rich loves to kind of audio into there. So, uh, but it's whatever your preference is here. It's going to come up with something. So some of the benefits of using Lovable. This is locally on my computer. I can't really use this in other places, like on other computers, unless I could use it on my laptop. It has to be connected to my Wi-Fi. Having it built here, you could use it wherever. Like, it's a live hosted website. Sorry. The only way to do that for this is to launch it onto a server, which I don't feel like I want to do right now because it's a personal tool. So you can see Claude is going to continue to work through this. It's going to draft out a full spec, and it's probably just going to take a second. But while it's doing that, this is one of the posts that I was able to generate out using Claude. Sorry, using this tool. Sorry, guys, I'm getting allergies now. Um, and as you can see, it's done pretty good, honestly. Like it was one of the first ones that I've had. Some of them haven't done as well, and this is why I built the kind of feedback loop into there to see what works and what doesn't. And this was just about how the boomerang effect and how PM jobs are now coming back and whatnot. Um, but yeah, let's see where Claude is. So Claude does this. It'll generate out a rough version of it here, but I like this because it tells you at least an idea of how it would start. No, for the sake of this video, I'm just going to no just lovable spec for now. And so this is like your very first MVP. It's going to build that out and then we'll go from there. So you can copy and paste this once it's done. Okay. Use the system. Okay, that's fine. So we have to copy everything from up here. Copy, paste this. Now, Lovable's going to take a second. I hope I don't run out of credits. I should be fine. It's going to ask me for an anthropic key and edge function. I'm going to do that off screen because I don't want to share that. Mm. So here I'm logged in. I can get into here. You can see I already have one existing one for mine. I'm just going to go ahead and press create key. I'm going to do it off screen. Demo key. I'm going to copy and paste that key into there. Um, there you go. No thanks. It's going to continue to do what it has to do. And And so one of the things that I'm going to talk about, hold on one second, that is not going to be in this version, but was in an older version is I can't find the old chat right now. But what I did actually is I asked it to be able to look into specs and analytics, right? So how did post perform in 2025? How did post perform in 2026? I asked Claude this directly. And that also based the rules of how we will be making our post for this version right here. And that's why this doesn't look like just something that somebody made and like directly plugged into Claude and then it spits it out looking like it directly plugged into Claude. Because if you've ever seen a post made in Claude, it's just like 6 bullet points and there's a very structured way that they do that. This sounds a lot closer to something that I might actually, how I might speak or something along those lines. Okay, that's fine. Let's see where this is for now. It's still working on what it's doing. I guess, Rich, while we have a couple minutes while this is building, do you want to see if there's any questions from anybody so far?
As of right now, I don't see any.
Okay.
No, I really don't.
All right, let's see where this is. All right, what I can do in the meantime while that works is to showcase some of what I've done in Codex, right? Um, and so Codex is really good. It's an AI agent that basically can work and live on your, what the, was there a weird beeping? Oh. It's an AI agent that can kind of live on your computer. And so when I was working on the first version of this, I worked with Claude and I got to a point where I created a codex setup brief. And codex works a little bit differently than like a Lovable does because we deploy it to a server via Lovable. However, this builds locally, and you can see like we built this version on my computer. And so this is great because I would not have been able to do this without a software engineer, even like a year ago, less than a year ago, 9 months ago. And so the reason I switched over is because Claude Chat is great at coming up with prototypes like we saw over here. But then when you want to get something that's a little bit more substantive and real, I personally don't feel like it's there yet. And so like we will get to this point. Maybe something a little bit better than this even, and then it won't actually be able to get it into anything that looks like a real website. Okay, so you can see here that it's made a version of this, and so I don't know, and product manager job in 2026, right? Let's go ahead and generate the draft. What should be happening right now is it's taking that idea, talking to the Claude API on the back end, and it's going to generate a draft out. And it's using the tone of a thought leader. So that might just take a second. It might even fail, quite honestly. These things happen a lot. And that will be with Claude's rate limiting. But yeah. Milan, while it works on that, you have a question?
No, I didn't. It just prompted
Oh,
me. My bad.
you're good. Any recommendation for a Claude plan? Oh, there are a few questions. Let me see. Well, any recommendation for a Claude plan? I was using the Pro for $100 a month, and I just cut it down to $20 a month. It just depends on what you're using it for, right? Like if you're using Claude Code, you might want to go with the more expensive plan because that's going to be more taxing. But I don't really use that plan as much right now. I use Codex, which is free. So it's just kind of it just I mean if you want to go real cheap, you can use Gemini with Codex and just not even touch Claude at all, right? Um, so it's just however you want to set these things up, right? So um Khushfata, it says, can we use a similar setup, Claude plus Lovable, to create a platform to apply for jobs as well and tailor our resume based on the job description? You can. I think there's tools out there that do that pretty well already. Rich kind of was speaking to one the other day that I think one of our alums worked on. There's a number of other ones, and so like if you want to have it as a project, quite honestly, I tried to build it and I've ran into major roadblocks pretty quickly. But if you just want something where you can plug in a JD and you can plug in your resume and it'll create a version for you, uh, li you can do that already with hold on, I'm trying to find it. I have so many chats. You can do that already today with just the basic Claude chat, and I think it does a pretty good job of it. So like I wouldn't waste your time doing that. Did I give a custom knowledge base in the tone of the draft to content? The knowledge, yeah, basically you're asking if there's a knowledge base. The answer is no. And the reason for it's yes and no. The reason for that is because I did research ahead of hand on what works, right? And so that was already all baked in. So when we got to the first version of this was the very first post that I made using LinkedIn. I mean, using this tool, and it was good. If it wasn't, I would go back and give it more guidance. But that's why this also exists right now. Where is it? Let me just draft this again. What I'm worried about is it's going to hit the Claude API because it's already generating here too. But there's a slight like chat bot on the side over there if you remember seeing it, and I can kind of guide it right here. Hey, I want to change this, or I don't agree with this view, or whatever it might be. And so you can see in the time that we've been on the call, I would say this is a pretty okay looking LinkedIn post. Now I can take this and go in a million different directions with it, but it says the product management job in 2026 won't reward generalist, so on and so forth, healthcare data, and different platforms it talks about. I mean, this is a Rich, would you say this looks like it was AI generated?
No.
Right? Like it's pretty good. So I can go back in there and detail this out and whatnot, but for now I'll save it to the vault. And it's in the vault, and I can just copy it and paste it. Should work, right? It works. And so some of the things that are different between that version and this version, I really focused on the hooks. I think hooks is what makes their thumb stop, not even their eyes, their thumb stop. And then I looked into like what are the average links that perform the best? What should my call to action be? And these are all just actionable steps. However, in the short time that we've been here, I was able to make a version of this that I think is decent enough, at least for a demo like this. And then, yeah, all you would do is just publish this out, and you can work from there. Now, I'm not going to publish this because it's connected to my link, my Claude API, and then I'm not going to have any tokens left, but you guys can totally try this on your own. I like the way Claude talks. If you want to try it with ChatGPT, you can try it with ChatGPT. If you want to try it with something else, you could try it with something else. But yeah, I think that is the high level demo of how you would do that. Um, any other questions? I think we're almost at the half an hour mark now.
27 minutes in, my friend.
I give an effective demo, a quick one.
Uh, Credit anxiety is real. Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
everything right now, Elaine, is real.
Mm. Here's a nice little thing because I have a learning system built into here. It's telling me why it wrote it this way. And so it's like an outbound sales automation, and then the AI impact on product management roles is the two things that it's focusing on in this. And in the future, I could maybe go in and try to tailor this to make it sound whatever way I want. Connor is asking if they can come on. Oh, okay.
Yeah, come on. What you waiting for?
All right, cool. Yeah, then my first one of these I was joining, so that's sure what we're doing. But yeah, so just wanted to make sure I'm kind of following along on like, you said that you didn't use a custom knowledge base. So like
Mm.
where is kind of this I guess like tailoring happening that's like making it something that's, not kind of like generic AI, but is, and now it's becoming unique to you.
So what I did really is this, like give me Q2 2026 LinkedIn trends, and then we need to be able to have the post adjust to them,
Mm,
adjust in relation to that. I was trying to find the old one, but I can't. And while that's doing what it's doing, maybe I will try to go and look for that again. Uh, okay. I'm not going to find it. But you can see here it's saying this is the new data it's saying. I said it basically look at Q2, look at Q1, and then look at Q4 of 2025, right? And
mhm,
as it was working on those, we basically came up with, you can see over here, of how things maybe should be written, right? It should be a very first short line and this and that and so on and so forth. That's part of it.
mhm,
The other part of it is this is my personal API key, so I think it knows how I sound.
mm,
And so, like, those two things combined is why I didn't need to tune this in as much. However, I still build a feedback mechanism here. If something does really well, I can plug it into here, or if something does really bad, I can plug it into here. And then you can see where, like, okay, this was really good. We're capturing the amount of like likes and whatnot, and reposts and whatnot. And all of that over time is going to tailor into better and better posts, which is what we're kind of seeing here. Or
okay, got it.
yeah, it's like a loop system.
Yeah. So okay, it kind of started with, those initial prompts that you gave it about where to go and find the trends to kind of inspire it, and then,
Well, the
it
first
had a,
version I skipped over briefly. I went into my ideas, but there's actually a button here that says refresh trends that looks for trends specifically in the product management community because that's what I care about, right? So you can see these are
oh,
industry analysis, MIT technology review, and then market data. It's going to refresh right now if I don't run out of credits. And it will, I might have run out of credits, but it will like basically generate out new sources and I basically can talk to it and be like, hey, I want this company to be here or not and whatnot. But it kind of reviewed it. So it kind of changed. So Deloitte, MIT Sloan, and now MIT Technology Review. Those are
mm,
different, right? And one of the things I had to do is I had five here initially. I had to cut back it down to three because it was using too many tokens. And so
okay,
like that's just drilling in, but I could do the same thing. So AI skill gaps become the biggest hiring barrier. Let's write a post about that. Let's see what happens, right? It's going to generate you out ideas. Based off of that, it's here. And it says companies are crying about the AI skill gap while posting job requirements that make ChatGPT itself unqualified. The problem is in talent scarcity, right? Like that's a very hot post. And I'm like, okay, cool, I like that. Let's make a draft about that. And so next it's gonna write a draft. And all of everything I'm doing here can be built into this version if you want. This just took a lot of tinkering for me to get to here. But you
mm,
can see there's a storyteller, tactical, and then there's contrarian and vulnerable as well. And so, yeah, you can see now that it has this and says, I think that's a pretty crazy hook. I want to use that one. Um, the reason this is semi-manual is I want it to act like the writer and I'm the final editor. Quite honestly, that was in the original prompt. And so like I would read through this and that's why it says approve and queue. Now that it's approved and queued, I would copy it and I can paste it to wherever I want to be able to paste it to have the post live. The next thing that I might work on in the future is if you've noticed, it says carousels here, right? So I might feed in something here where I'm using a skill to be able to just produce the carousels here directly. However, I haven't done that yet. The reason for that is even here, it says that carousels are the number one performing uh, type of media on LinkedIn, and the engagement's gone up 14% from 7% to 14% year. I think, hold on, with the 7% engagement rate and up 14% year over year. And so like that's just it's just doing your research, seeing what works, and then building to spec accordingly.
Mm.
Yep. We have two in the Q&A.
Yeah, I was waiting for you to finish up so we can go out there and answer it. Does the app, Elaine asked, does the app post directly to LinkedIn profile or does it require you to cut and paste the output to LinkedIn?
It's a cut and paste for me. I mean, quite honestly, I have another service that I use that has a webhook to LinkedIn so I can schedule them out. I still have to paste it into there regardless. LinkedIn is notorious for really not wanting to expose almost anything. Like there isn't an easy way to go about that. Um, unless you figure out some way around it, which I'm not going to discuss on this call. Um, but yeah, I would just say, I mean, the easiest thing to do is 11 a.m. reminder on your phone. Hey, I got to post this. This is the one I got made out. Or if you want, I can, in this scheduled version or whatever, I can change this to a calendar view and just plug in all the ones and when I want to post them when and where and how. And then can the app identify existing LinkedIn posts that meet the specific criteria to repost as well? Eileen, I might need you to. So you're basically saying if I were to copy a post from somewhere and see if it's repost worthy, is that kind of what you're alluding to there? Yes. Okay. Yeah, maybe. Honestly, like I don't think reposts like they matter for the person who's posting it, the original poster. But I don't know how much they matter for a person reposting it. Generally, I just repost stuff if I find it very interesting. Otherwise, I don't really, mind to not repost it. So I didn't really focus on that much at all. I'm sure you could like use some analytics tool to, or build some sort of analytics tool to see if that's something you want to do. Any other questions?
Can the app? Okay, yeah, that's the last one, right?
Now, what I would say is like, just in terms of what's new and whatnot, I kind of did it live the other day. I haven't done it yet. Is This is great. It's pretty flat and whatnot, but you can see even on the Lovable version, it's a little bit cleaner in terms of UI. I would probably redesign this. That can be done with like Claude design or different ways to go about it, but that's something that I would probably do next, just because now I have the bandwidth too. If I'm downloading Claude on Mac, would it be working on the background reading my data? What are its hidden terms and conditions? I would recommend that you go and do your own research on that. If you are downloading Claude on your Mac, I'm assuming you mean Claude Code. From what I understand, you can limit what you want to see and not see, but that's a personal thing. And then also Claude Code is different than Claude Cowork and Claude Chat.
I am downloading Claude Mac and I'll be working in the background and reading my data. What are its hidden, what, TNC, what terms and conditions?
Sure, I just answered that, Rich. I said they should do their own research, but also you can probably, I think you can limit it, but also Claude Code is different than Claude Cowork and Claude Chat. So like those are the big
Got
differences.
it. Got it. Any other questions, folks, before we
Any
get back
questions
to
about the tool?
anything? If there's no other questions, we go back to printing cash. Going once, going twice. Milan, do you need a resume review?
Yes, I do. Yeah.
Why didn't you speak up, bro? Give me a second here. Seems like, I can't show Milan's resume here, but did you follow the template that we provided?
This was an existing template I just had,
Uh-huh.
and yeah.
Well, you need to follow the template we provided, man. Uh, for starters here. Okay. This down here I can show because this is not actually uh this is not sensitive material, but if you're gonna have hang on. I think the notion that people actually need to go and move away from
Mhm.
is the resume is only gonna get you so far.
Yeah, 100%.
Because and I've heard a little bit of that too, and I've heard some of that saying yes and some of that saying no is when you get the amount of volume that is just penetrating the ATS,
Hmm.
what the recruiting side is going to do is increase more filters to basically effectively dam off a flood, right?
Right.
And they're just gonna go ahead and fortify and refortify. So what people need to go ahead and do to make sure that they're getting through is reach out to the hiring manager directly on LinkedIn for one, and be sure to follow up with the hiring manager on LinkedIn. If
Got it.
you're applying to a company just one time and thinking that they owe you a response, that's just
Mhm.
really not the market that we're operating in right now.
Have you
Uh,
guys ever sent looms?
was that?
Sent looms?
Oh,
Like,
100%. That's actually part of the curriculum.
yeah, you need to start doing that.
Oh,
Yeah.
looms. I thought you said a loan. I'm like, a loan to who, bro? Why are you
No,
sending
no,
money?
loom. Looms.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
send looms. That makes
Yeah,
sense.
send Loom videos, right?
gotcha.
It's gonna make for such a stronger gonna make for such a stronger positioning versus because they actually look for that stuff. We
Mhm.
have very strong data to suggest, considering the amount of offers that we have on the table, is
Yeah.
the majority of the interviews right now are coming from the third up to the seventh follow-up.
Hmm.
And then the other thing here is your chances of getting a product manager role after if you're following up with the product manager position
Right.
after you've gotten rejected exponentially goes up.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And people ask me that shit like, Rich, really? I was like, you know how many times you get rejected when you're trying to raise funding?
Yeah. Same idea. Um,
Right, right. So that used to be actually one of the jokes that we had when I was working in recruiting is like you'll
this
ask somebody tell us a time when you did something difficult and they're like, yeah, I never
this
quit.
is my
I don't
third time
know.
interviewing.
Yeah. Yeah. It is like you send them like one rejection email and they're just like, well, I guess that motherfucker quit.
Yeah.
But the person that's actually and that's why it's so important to have a YouTube portfolio is like you're constantly like, it's not about getting your ass kicked. It's like, what'd you actually go out there and do about it?
Right.
So, yeah. So
Is
if
the
yeah,
YouTube portfolio section gonna be updated anytime soon? I know you
yeah,
just
yeah, yeah,
updated.
yeah, yeah. We're doing it. We're doing it. I mean, we're doing it live like pretty much every single day.
Gotcha.
Um, if you notice, like all of the tools they're dropping right now, generally speaking, they're dropping on a Thursday between 4 o'clock to 7 o'clock,
Yeah.
right? Um, we know that. I mean, if you take a look at the release date for ChatGPT was a Thursday.
Hmm.
5.5 for Codex was Thursday. Claude Design was also on Thursday, late afternoon.
Gotcha.
So you want to establish this very clear track record of whenever a new tool is coming out, you're just on it, you know.
Yeah.
And that's something that I also want to go ahead and talk to everybody about slightly is the major like everybody right now that's looking for a product manager job, it's like it's like fucking hilarious. They call us and they're like, well, how are you going to get me a job? It's like, how the fuck are you going to get yourself a job?
Mhm.
Because ultimately, like, you have to win a lot of people over right now. And if we're being very honest, Meta's getting ready to drop another 8,000 people into the marketplace, right? So how do we go ahead and counter that? Because every company that you guys are going to be interviewing for right now has a friend that is unemployed that they would love to drag in here, but politically speaking, a lot of other people don't want that person. You have to be undeniable. So if you want to go ahead and land the role, how you're going to be able to go ahead and do it is let's actually take a look at let's actually go ahead and take a look at like how we've done it so far. You can very easily, you got to go ahead and get your YouTube portfolio up because I could ask you, how do you write a PRD with Claude, or you can show me.
Mhm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Right. And in a live prompting situation, you can get anything that can happen. Your tokens get used up,
And
your credit,
it doesn't
right?
have to be perfect, right? Like just
No, 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 no. It doesn't have to be perfect. And this is the part that so many people are missing. That's why I'm writing everybody that's in the program right now is when you're going to Claude, why do people pay $7,000 to enroll in this program? I mean, Milan, why'd you pay $7,000 to enroll in this program, right?
no.
Because you want to know why? When you go YouTube, Claude Cowork, the videos out there on Claude Cowork fucking suck. Everybody's tried to do it on their own. That's why they're fucking here, right?
Yeah, true, true.
The biggest thing that you guys are absolutely wasting right now is you guys are not taking advantage of when a new tool drops. What the company wants to see is that initial, okay, the first video that you can go out there and make for Claude Design is going into Claude Design and just showing people how to access Claude Design. Because that's the number one question that's being asked is where the fuck do I get managed agents? Where the fuck is Claude Code 2.0? Where the fuck is Claude Design, right?
Wait, Rich, just even Claude Code. I was at a training session over the weekend. Do
Uh-huh.
you know how long they set up the training session for 2 hours? Do you know how long it took everybody to get set up for the training session there?
How long?
1 hour.
Exactly.
1 hour. Absolutely ridiculous.
You got to talk to people like they're fucking golden retrievers, you know? So I'm being dead ass serious. My friend used to clear like 30 G's a month in San Francisco hosting Airbnb workshops. You know what the whole Airbnb workshop was about? Just filling out the form, getting your freaking property listed. And they're pretty much like 90% people that own an investment property that work in tech in San Francisco. So you got to go through it like anything. If it doesn't seem overtly obvious to you, that's the first video that you can go out there and make is getting started on Claude design, right? And if it doesn't seem very obvious to you,
Mhm.
that's the feedback that they want. The second type of video is, well, what are all the use cases, right?
Right.
And the cool thing that you can do is just prompt it and say, like, okay, so you can ask Gemini, what are all the use cases for that? And the third thing is now that you have the use cases for product managers, ask like, okay, so who else can benefit from this, right? The hottest thing right now, we're getting ready to drop the product manager. I just prompted up like 60 pages worth of shit for the meta rotational product manager role. This is the thing that everybody's blowing us up on, right?
Right.
This is the thing that we're going to be focusing on all week is, uh, which is affiliate marketing, is showing a company you can go out there and monetize. The hottest thing right now is showing a company that you cleared cash off of something.
Yeah.
That puts you at the front of the line. I don't know if you guys like, oh man, I was like doom scrolling after my swim today. They just had like this thing that went viral for some chef that went to that's interviewed for like a chef position for a Michelin star restaurant.
Hmm.
And they have 10 chefs and you know which chef got the job? The chef that got the job was somebody that was selling grilled cheese sandwiches with their husband out of a food truck.
Mhm.
You want to know how that person got the job? By just talking about how they're selling grilled cheese sandwiches. Like, they're like, that's all they want to know is, okay, hang on. So, like, what's your professional training? I have none. Well, like, why do you want to be in this business? Because, like, I really want to work at a Michelin star restaurant. It's like, well, do you have any like hands-on experience? Well, my husband and I sold like about 4 weeks ago, we decided that we're going to sell some grilled cheese sandwiches at a farmer's market. How many did you guys sell? 500. What'd you guys do with that? Well, the next week we came back and we sold another 1,000. Okay, how did you get people to find you? And how did people know to find you? How much money did you actually how much money did you spend on groceries and all that, right?
Right.
Make no fucking mistake, we're in this business to fucking make money. It's clear cash. That's it.
Mhm.
And like that's what they want to go ahead and see. This little Korean pain pouch patch that James and I are part of right now. Uh, Somebody in our little affiliate program right here, they just sold 500 bucks of this. This is the Korean version of Icy Hot right here. Okay. You go into a meta rotational product manager right now and you say you sold 500 of these, you're at the front of the line. It's true shit because most of these other like Stanford grads, they haven't sold anything to anybody,
Yeah.
you know? So like that statement that fucking Elon Musk said, he was like, drug dealers know more about running a business than people that are working in tech right now. He's not wrong. He really is not.
That's why I
So,
personally think an MBA is worthless
uh,
because you will learn more working than you will in terms of an MBA unless it's like from the top school at this point, and that's only for connections.
unless you went after your MBA after you became a drug dealer.
Yeah, there you go. All right, Rich, I gotta hop off. I gotta take a call at
Me
9.
too. We got 3 more minutes left. Anybody else have any other questions here? Amr, everybody say thank you to Amr.
Thank you, man.
Uh, Connor, it's 12 o'clock call. Anyways, everybody say thank you to Amr. Anybody have any other questions?
Cover letter. How is that important still, or is that just
No, it's not.
obsolete?
It's
Gotcha.
not. Follow up early, often, over and over and over and over and over again. Okay. The resume doesn't mean a whole lot. Like, no company website right now is converting. Right.
Mhm.
Right. Yeah, man. I mean, look at all the testimonials that we have, and people still want to go ahead and have a conversation with us. So, mm. Cool.
Cool, cool.
Everybody, let's get it. The money's all out there. Just a quick little stat update. Right now, the person that's the reigning champ is Eula in New York. She hit 56 applications the other day. 6 interviews that I heard. On top of that, let me see here. Mr. Amr reached out on LinkedIn to a hiring manager for the company called Hopper. Booked the interview, right, sir?
They're reaching out still, but I will share this before we go. This is tomorrow. I didn't even reach out. She reached out to me, and this is good. It just means things are moving.
There you go.
We have this scheduled for tomorrow, so and Rich, when is it happening? At what time?
What?
At what time of the day is this happening? She's responding at 8:12 p.m.
8:12 p.m., yo.
Yeah. So
Yeah, dude. Like, I would say most of the people out here, like, that are on the job hunt, I guarantee you they're just not going to make it NGMI. Like, get after it. We're hosting calls 12 p.m. every single day. My number one objective is to make sure everybody that doesn't have a job is going to be working ASAP Rocky. And then for the rest of the week, we're hosting calls Monday, 8 p.m., Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 6 p.m. Friday, we're only doing one call. That's at 12 p.m. And we're just here to prove that the majority of the market right now is just not working, you know? So if you guys are ready to get it, we're ready to get it. Yeah. See you guys. All right, Amr, thank you so much, man. I'll see you soon in
All right.
person.
Thank you. Have
Okay,
a good
thank
one.
you. Bye. Thanks, Milan. Bye.